Remember Disneyland back in the day, if you're old enough to remember the little tickets they used to use to get on each ride? It isn't just one entry ticket, it's each individual tickets. The e-ticket ride was like Space Mountain. Well, getting pre-approved and pre-qualified to buy a home is exactly like trying to get into Disneyland with an e-ticket ride. If you don't have one, can't get on the ride. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Real Estate Minute Show. We're talking about pre-qualifications and pre-approvals today. Okay? So, it's one of those things. A lot of people don't like to open up about their finances. They don't like to show their tax returns to lenders, and they like to it's more fun, honestly, and I totally agree. It's more fun going shopping with someone like myself or Michelle on our team to go shopping for homes. Hop in the car, go around, look at open houses, and that's a lot of fun. But you can't buy anything without a pre-approval or at least a pre-qualification from a lender, okay? So let me tell you a quick story. We had a client who was in the $1 million price range. They had 5 kids, one on the way. I mean, this is Brady Bunch, right? 5 kids, it's a blended family too. So they each had kids from different marriages, but they were having one together. That was number 6. They had 4 dogs, 2 cats, and a bird. This is Brady Bunch, the sequel, all right? So we were looking for a home that had 6 bedrooms. Impossible to find around the $1 million range, but we looked, and we actually did find a 5-bedroom house, okay? But the house was too small. And even with the 5 bedrooms, it's like they just divided rooms and tried to cram 5 bedrooms. They were too tiny, okay? And we totally agreed with them. We told them, please go get pre-qualified or pre-approved with a lender. Here's a few lenders. Go talk to them right away. We usually only look at maybe a few homes with a buyer before we require them to get pre-approved, because otherwise it's a waste of everybody's time. For 2 reasons. One is they might not be able to afford that $1 million home, and maybe it would be better to get into a rental for the time being until they can. That's one aspect. The other one, which is even more surprising to a lot of buyers, is that they can afford more than they thought. That happens more times than not. I mean, like 3/4 of the time. So we took this couple with 2 of the 5 kids and one of the dogs in the car. And after they talked to a lender. And lo and behold, guess what they found out? They can afford a home $1,650,000. That's $650,000 more of home they can afford over the million that they thought they could. That's massive. That doesn't happen to that extent a lot of times, but it does happen. So now they're thinking, not that they need to go buy something for $1,650,000, because they didn't want a huge house, huge mortgage, and a lot of obligations, but at least now they know what they can look for. So what did we do? We hopped back in the car. We started looking at homes that were about $1,250,000, $1,350,000, in that range. They were comfortable with that mortgage payment because they didn't even understand what the interest rates were at that point. We explained it to them a little bit, but once they got the firm quote from the lender, they understood it a lot more, that they actually can easily afford $1,350,000. And so they felt comfortable with that. And we found him a house for $1,285,000. It had 6 bedrooms. So anyway, that's what happens. Most times it's a shock of surprise and happiness that they can afford more and get their dream home for not as much as they thought they would in a mortgage payment, than the opposite, which is not being able to afford it. But it is required. It is the e-ticket ride to get on Space Mountain at Disneyland. You have to have the ticket to get the entry into buying a home. All right? Have any questions? Shoot me a message. Got my mask on, but I'm not wearing it in the conference room because I'm alone. So I feel like I'm hiding out in the conference room alone. So don't tell anybody, okay? Put your mask on, stay safe. I'll see you next week. See ya.